I'd like all of you to take a deep dive into your memories and think about back when you were in school. All the endless amounts of concepts and terms you had to remember. For example, the Pythagorean theorem, or what the powerhouse of a cell is. It's the mitochondria, by the way. You see, this is where the app Vocan comes into play. But first, let me give you an introduction to the person that would use Vocan. Meet Olivia Cheng. Olivia is 25 years old, Chinese, based in Los Angeles, and is a full-time physical therapy student. Being a full-time grad student, Olivia's schedule is packed with online Zoom lectures, in-person labs, and of course the endless amounts of assignments and discussions. Olivia is active on social media such as Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. She occasionally meets up with her classmates to study, and whenever she's free, she tries her best to stay active by either going on hikes or going to the gym. Now let's take a look into how Olivia feels about studying and using flashcard applications to grasp all the concepts and terminology that comes along with being a physical therapy student. Olivia thinks it would be really helpful to have an app that she could use efficiently anywhere. Sometimes she finds it difficult to memorize many terms at the same time. Also, studying flashcards can get pretty repetitive to her. She feels that having different types of study options will help her challenge herself through different levels of difficulty. Lastly, her biggest challenge is grasping new concepts and understanding their function to the point where she is able to clearly explain it to someone else. So what can we take from this? Olivia needs an app that is user-friendly, on the go, can offer different study options, help her grasp the understanding of a concept or term that will allow her to explain it clearly to another person, and an incentive that will help motivate her to study. Simply put, Olivia needs a quick and efficient way to learn new vocabulary and concepts well enough to explain to others, because she is attending graduate school to become a physical therapist. We will know if Vocan is successful for Olivia if the group of words and concepts that she understands greatly outweighs the group of words and concepts that she does not. Now here are the early stages of my prototype that I created for Vocan. As you can see, I created a simple process that allows the user to create an account, enable their notifications, and establish a goal for themselves. Next is the onboarding, which displays the main use of Vocan. Following this is the action of creating a new deck and establishing which study option to choose from after choosing a deck to study. From there, we choose the study options such as multiple choice and matching. As you can see, the review section will highlight the percentage you got on the test and highlights the terms and concepts the user got right or wrong. The next set of study options are the typical flashcard and type it. The result portion slightly has a different display based on words that a user felt they knew, kind of knew, and didn't know. For Vocan, we conducted a usability test consisting of 3 participants, all being full-time students. In the test, I asked each participant to engage in 5 different tasks to see how well the users interacted with the app and to see if its functions were used as intended. Task 1 was sign up as a new user. Task 2, complete a multiple choice study option with an existing flashcard deck. Task 3, you have just finished a lecture and have a new set of vocabulary words that you need to study. Create a new deck with those words. Task 4, you feel as if regular flashcards are getting too repetitive. Select a different study option and review your results. Task 5, the definition of a concept seems to be too difficult to remember. Edit the existing flashcard and include an image to it in order to help you remember the concept. The usability testing results. The results gave us better insight to what issues were at hand. First off, the onboarding process was confusing for the participants. Instead of the onboarding process being a display of the functionality, they thought they were actually supposed to fill out the options. There also wasn't an option to swipe backwards. The second task was completed by the participants with flying colors. However, one participant suggested changing the try it again option on the result page to a more detailed approach of being able to test themselves on the terms and concepts they didn't know. On the third task, 2 of the participants confused the flashcard study option for the create a new flashcard button. Task 4 had no complications. Lastly, Task 5 displayed the same issues with the flashcard study option. In addition, the plus sign to create a new flashcard was confused for the picture option. Also, one of the participants confused the menu button with how to add an image. After the usability test was conducted and the results were analyzed, I went ahead and made some adjustments to the prototype. I made a requirement for the user to actually create their own new deck instead of sliding through their onboarding process. I also included a minimalistic back button at the top left corner. Here, I created a new button in the results page so that the user can just review the terms and concepts they got wrong, including an option where they can review all the words again. For this last slide of revisions, I replaced the logo with the flashcard deck title to make it clear that the user is already in a specific deck. I then created a distinction between the study options and the terms. Next, I included the edit button on the options for the flashcards. Lastly, I displayed the image button on the flashcard to make it clearer for the user. To sum it all up, the interview process was definitely one of the highlights of this journey. I really enjoyed engaging with the participants and learning from them what needed to be improved and getting a better understanding of their point of view. Next, I believe I took too much time creating the prototype. I need to learn to be able to not stress too much in the beginning, as it is a draft and revisions will be made. Third is utilizing software such as Sketch or Figma to create wireframes and prototypes. It took me a great deal of time to just draw everything out. Plus, everything would have looked a lot neater. Lastly, I really need to focus on the why portions of the interviews. I feel that if I had asked why more during the interviews, I would have gotten a lot more helpful information. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time.